progress report the next time you meet
He wants to see you, and you've heard this story many times today, but it always sticks in my mind. First thing he does is look at your shoes. Because if your shoes aren't dirty, you haven't been working hard enough. You got to get out there in the field. And I think that, you know, the tie to Sarah is key, and also just seeing him. The pomp and circumstance is fantastic. Seeing him at the White House was fantastic, but this guy loves it, to be connecting with people.
And it's one of the reasons when he was a bishop, he did not travel as much. It's one of the first reasons he's coming to the U.S. now. I mean, he was, like you said, he was a doer and a worker, but inside the Capitol tomorrow, when the Pope passes through to give his speech, he's going to pass a statue of the man he is about to canonize as saint. He has been in Statuary Hall in the U.S. Capitol since 1931, one of two statues from the state of California, so has been in Washington for a very long time in statue. But a pointed moment that Speaker Boehner is pointing out that they have put that statue in Statuary Hall. So it's a bit of a controversy. The California legislature has talked about trying to replace him over the years, but he is in the Capitol, and tomorrow will be a saint when the Pope walks by him.
And we had an interview with California Governor Jerry Brown for the site that I work for, Crux, which is sponsored by the Boston Globe. And we asked him this question, you know, is the Sarah statue coming out? And he said, it will be there till the end of time. And then I asked him, is it really within your authority as governor to issue a proclamation like that? And he said, well, I'm going to do everything I can.
That's each legislature,
yeah,
of course, but it's been there since 1931.
Yeah.
Part of the message that we've heard throughout the day, Delia, is this concept of going forth. You mentioned this, Jim, sort of going forth, doing God's work, and doing so with joy. Maybe not focusing, respecting doctrine, obviously, but focusing perhaps on the tone of engaging parishioners. Is this the overarching message that the Pope brings?
Well, what's interesting about that is that in his talk to the bishops, I think what he's done is given them a big package, because as Jim was saying earlier, you know, looking at their shoes, what he's saying is, this is your job, I'm one of you, I'm a bishop amongst you, and the background to that is a question of kind of the central authority of Rome. And what this Pope is doing in a number of cases is saying, you are as important, your opinions are important to me, and we'll see that again in October at the Vatican, and your mission is as important as my mission. And so the ball is in your court. He said, I've not come to condemn you or to judge you. I've come to give you some suggestions for how you can do it, but it's up to you guys to do it. And that's really important for the bishops of the Catholic Church, and for the priests, and indeed for the nuns, for the religious, for all of those who are engaged in the work of the Catholic Church throughout this country.
It certainly is a call to action. I think we are going to begin to hear the Pope speak, and we will be pausing as that begins. But before we do, Jim, do we have, and maybe John, you can answer this, do we have any idea how people were able to attend this event? This is something that so many people in the area would want, that they would want to come and see.
Well, I know I haven't been asked for tickets by a lot of people, but haven't been able to deliver them.
Some students of Catholic University are there, I know, as well as the parishioners of this basilica. I know that I'm a parishioner of St. Matthew's, and a very small, limited number were given out as well as the basilica.
And the Pope is now beginning the homily.
I shall say it again, rejoice. These are striking words. Words which impact our lives. Paul tells us to rejoice. He practically orders us to rejoice. This command resonates with the desire we all have for a fulfilling life, a meaningful life, a joyful life. It is as if Paul could hear what each one of us is thinking in his or her heart, and to voice what we are feeling, what we are experiencing. Something deep within us invites us to rejoice and tells us not to settle for placebos, which simply keep us comfortable. At the same time, though,
Vivimos las tensiones
we all
de la
know the
vida
struggles
cotidiana.
of everyday life.
Son muchas las
So much
situaciones
seems to
que
stand
parecen
in
poner
the
en
way
duda
of this
esta
invitation
invitación.
to rejoice.
La propia dinámica
Our
a la que
daily
muchas
routine
veces
can often
nos
lead
vemos
us
sometidos
to a
parece
kind of
conducirnos
glum apathy,
a una resignación
which gradually
que poco a
becomes a
poco
habit
se va transformando en
with a fatal
acostumbramiento,
consequence.
con una
Our
consecuencia letal,
Grow numb.
anestesiarnos el corazón.
We don't want
No
apathy
queremos que la resignación sea el
to
motor
guide
de
our
nuestra
lives.
vida, o lo queremos.
or do we?
No queremos
We
que
don't
el
want the
acostumbramiento
force
se
of habit
apodere de nuestros
to
días,
rule our life,
o sí.
or do we?
Por eso
So
podemos
we ought to
preguntarnos
ask
cómo
ourselves,
hacer para
what
que no
can
se
we
nos
do to keep our
anestesie
heart from
el
growing
corazón.
numb?
Cómo profundizar la
becoming
alegría
anesthetized.
del Evangelio
How do we make the
en
joy
las
of the gospel
diferentes
increase
situaciones
and take
de
deeper root
nuestra vida.
in our lives?
Jesús lo
And
dijo a los
Jesus
discípulos
gives
de
us
ayer
the answer.
y nos lo
He said
dice
to
a
his disciples
nosotros.
then, and he says it to us now,
Vayan,
go forth,
anuncien.
proclaim.
La alegría
The
del
joy of the
Evangelio
gospel
se experimenta, se conoce y se vive
something to be known
solamente
and lived only
dándola,
through giving it away,
dándola.
through giving ourselves away.
El Espíritu del
The
mundo
spirit of the world
nos invita al
tells us to be
conformismo,
like
a la
everyone else,
comodidad. Frente a
to
este
settle
espíritu
for what
humano,
comes easy.
hace falta volver a
Faced with this
sentir
human way of
que
thinking,
nos
we must
necesitamos
regain the
unos a
conviction
otros,
that
que
we need
tenemos
one
una
another,
responsabilidad
that we
por los
have a
demás
shared
y por
responsibility
el
for others
mundo.
and for the
Tenemos
world.
la responsabilidad
It
de
is the
anunciar
responsibility to
el
proclaim
mensaje de
the
Jesús,
message of Jesus.
porque la fuente de
For the source
nuestra
of our
alegría
joy
nace
is an
de ese
endless desire
deseo
to show mercy,
inagotable de
the
brindar
fruit of our own
misericordia,
experience of the power of the
fruto de haber
Father's
experimentado
infinite
la infinita
mercy.
misericordia del Padre y su fuerza difusiva. Vayan todos
Go out
a
to all,
anunciar ungiendo,
proclaim by anointing,
anunciar.
and anoint by proclaiming.
A esto el Señor nos
This is what the
invita
Lord
hoy.
tells us today.
La alegría
He
del
tells
cristiano
us
la
a
experimenta
Christian finds joy in
la
mission.
misión.
Go out to people
Vayan a la gente de todas
of
las
every nation.
La alegría
A
del
Christian
cristiano la
experiences
encuentra en
joy
una invitación.
in following a command.
Vayan y
Go
anuncien.
forth and proclaim
La alegría del
the
cristiano
good news.
la
A
renueva,
Christian finds
la
ever new
actualiza
joy
con una llamada.
in answering a call.
Vayan
Go
y
forth
unjan.
and anoint.
Jesús los envía
Jesus
a
sends
todas
his
las naciones.
disciples out to all nations, to every people.
Y en ese todos,
We
que hace
too
2000 años,
were part of all those
estábamos
people of
también.
2,000 years ago.
Jesús no da
Jesus
una
did
lista
not
definitiva
provide a short list
de quién sí
of who is
y quién
or who is not
de quiénes
worthy
son
of
dignos
receiving
o no
his
de
message,
recibir
his
su
message,
mensaje,
his presence.
su presencia. Por el contrario,
Instead,
abrazó
he
siempre
always
la vida
embraced life
tal cual se le presentaba,
as he saw it,
con rostro de dolor,
in faces of pain, hunger, sickness,
con rostro
and
de
sin,
heridas, de
in
sed y
faces of
cansancio,
wounds, of thirst, of
con rostro
weariness,
de dudas y de
doubt,
piedad.
and pity.
Lejos de esperar
Far
una
from
vida
expecting a
maquillada,
pretty life,
decorada,
smartly dressed
trucada,
and neatly
la
groomed,
abrazó como
he embraced
niña
life as he found it.
aunque fuera una
It
vida
made no
que
difference
muchas veces
whether
se presenta
it was
derrotada,
dirty,
sucia,
unkempt,
destruida.
or broken.
A todos,
Jesus said,
a todos,
Go out
vayan y anuncien.
and tell the good
A
news
toda
to
esa
everyone.
vida como es,
Go out and in my name. Embrace life as it is and not as you think it should be. Go out to the highways and byways. Go out to tell the good news fearlessly, without prejudice, without superiority, without condescension, to all those who have lost the joy of living. Go out to proclaim the merciful embrace of the Father. Go out to those who are burdened by pain and failure, who feel that their lives are empty, and proclaim the folly of a loving Father who wants to anoint them with the oil of hope, the oil of salvation. Go out to proclaim the good news that error, deceitful illusions, and falsehoods do not have the last word in a person's life. Go out with the ointment which soothes wounds and heals hearts. Mission is never the fruit of a perfectly planned program or a well-organized manual. Mission is always the fruit of a life which knows what it is to be found and healed, encountered and forgiven. Mission is born of a constant expression of God's merciful anointing. The Church, the holy people of God, treads the dust-laden paths of history, so often traversed by conflict, injustice, and violence, in order to encounter her children, our brothers and sisters. The holy and faithful people of God are not afraid of losing their way. They are afraid of becoming self-enclosed, frozen into elites, clinging to their own security. They know that self-enclosure in all of the many forms it takes is the cause of so much apathy. So, let us go out. Let us go forth to offer everyone the life of Jesus Christ. The people of God can embrace everyone because we are the disciples of the one who knelt before his own to wash their feet. The reason we're here today is that many other people wanted to respond to that call. They believe that life grows by giving away, and it weakens in isolation and comfort. We are heirs to the bold missionary spirit of so many men and women who preferred not to be shut up within structures which give us a false sense of security, within habits which make us feel safe, while at our door people are starving. We are indebted to a tradition, a chain of witnesses who have made it possible for the good news of the gospel to be in every generation both good and news. And today we remember one of those witnesses who testified to the joy of the gospel in these lands, Father Junipero Serra. He was the embodiment of a church which goes forth, a church which sets out to bring everywhere the reconciling tenderness of God. Junípero Serra left his native land and its way of life. He was excited about blazing trails, going forth to meet many people, learning and valuing the particular customs and ways of life. He learned how to bring to birth and nurture God's life in the faces of the native community, of everyone he met. Junípero sought to defend the dignity of the native community, to protect it from those who had mistreated and abused it. Mistreatment and wrongs which today still trouble us, especially because of the hurt which they cause in the lives of many people. Father Serra had a motto which inspired his life and work. A saying he lived his life by. Siempre adelante. Keep moving forward. For him, this was the way to continue experiencing the joy of the gospel, to keep his heart from going numb, from being anesthetized. He kept moving forward because the Lord was waiting. He kept going because his brothers and sisters were waiting. He kept going forward to the end of his life. Today, like him, may we always be able to say, forward. Let's keep moving forward.
You are watching CNN's live coverage of the Pope's first Mass in the United States. That is the conclusion of the Liturgy of the Word, the Pope giving the homily there as we move into the next phase of this Mass. John Allen, our